I got to do breaking news. So results are coming in on the Massie Gallrein race in Kentucky, obviously very relevant. And oh boy, 48.6% reporting now. So that's a big number. And Gallrein leads 54.4 to 45.6. So he's got about a 9-point lead there with about half the votes in. So that means Massie has to win the second half by about 18 points to catch him, which makes it pretty unlikely. It depends on where the votes are coming from. They come in at different times. Then there could be more pro-Massie districts or areas within that district, etc. But that is not good news. It looks like Israel is about to buy the entire Republican Party.
I mean, they've already done that.
Well, there was a tiny rebellion by Massie, and this will have quashed the rebellion.
And he's actually one of the very few people who's very, very adamant about the Epstein files.
Yes, that's why he's a target by Trump and his cronies. Well,
and by Israel, because obviously Israel did it.
It's a $20 million message.
Yeah. To cover up the Epstein files, cover up all their crimes in America, cover up their corruption, and American media will immediately help them. If Gallrein wins today, I guarantee you everyone in mainstream media, in hindsight, will say, oh, it had nothing to do with Israel. No, it was because he defied Trump, and it was the border bill, and it was this, and it was that, and anyone who says it was about Israel is an anti-Semite.
Anti-Semitic.
Yeah, all right.
All right, well, we've got some updates on the campaign to defeat Massie, so let's discuss it. It turns out the co-founder behind the main super PAC attempting to unseat Congressman Thomas Massie from his House seat in Kentucky has some pretty deep ties to a foreign country. I'm sure you'll be shocked to find out what that foreign country is. Now, it turns out that Tony Fabrizio, the co-founder of MAGA Kentucky, or MAGA KY, also works as an Israeli campaign advisor.
Oh my God, I thought for sure it was Iceland.
Oh, wow.
No, it's Israel?
Iceland's undue influence over the US government is a problem, but Israel's tends to be a little more influential.
How dare you? Okay, just a total coincidence that every single time it's Israel.
That's very anti-Semitic.
Guys, look, regardless of what you think about Israel, and I mean, if you watch this show, I can't imagine you're a fan. This is a foreign country, like foreign operatives meddling in our elections. Like, where are the Democrats, by the way? Like when it came to Trump and the whole Russiagate thing, okay, which I'm embarrassed that I fell for. They used that for political purposes. It didn't matter if it was true, they used it for political purposes. Here you have an actual situation in which a foreign operative is trying to unseat an American from his congressional seat because he wanted transparency on the Epstein files.
You know who else?
Because they're all involved. They're all bought by Israel. They're all the same team.
You're right.
This whole thing about like right versus left, it's fake. Because basically they fund both sides and then they cut each other's throat for like abortion, guns, healthcare, borders. But when it comes to Israel, everybody's competing to be Israel's bitches. So that's why they're not talking, because they know that the sledgehammer is waiting for them to get on their heads. They are basically they want to see who can sit on the lap of daddy.
It's so embarrassing, and like God, once you realize you're not living in a sovereign country, I don't know how it doesn't drive you crazy. It drives me crazy. So
welcome to my world.
It drives me
now we're all Palestinians.
So the most influential super PAC behind this Zionist attack on Thomas Massie is the MAGA KY super PAC started by former. I know. It's unfortunate.
No. They're being nice. At least they're using gel.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
Because normally they raw dog, but okay, thank you, Israel.
Our politicians, that's right. So MAGA KY super PAC started by former Trump campaign manager, here's another one, Chris LaCivita, and pollster Tony Fabrizio, which Politico noted is bankrolled by $1 million from hedge fund manager Paul Singer and $750,000 from a super PAC linked to casino magnate Miriam Adelson.
Our favorite.
Another group, the Christians United for Israel Action Fund, has spent 6 figures on billboards targeting Massie. Adelson, by the way, as you guys know, is one of Trump's major donors, second largest donor. Singer has a long history of backing all sorts of think tanks advocating for war against Iran on behalf of Israel, of course. But one of the most interesting characters in this entire race is the MAGA KY co-founder and pro-Trump pollster, Tony Fabrizio. So he has served as a political strategist to Israeli politicians. Back in 2020, Benjamin Netanyahu, in fact, enlisted Trump in his efforts to win re-election. Trump delivered, by the way. At the time, Netanyahu was facing corruption charges and cratering approval ratings in Israel. So as reported by NDTV, that's when Trump's inner circle landed in Jerusalem. Get a load of this. Susie Wiles, Corey Lewandowski, and Tony Fabrizio, Trump's campaign A-team, set up shop at the Leonardo Plaza Hotel. Netanyahu's staff had asked for help and Trump delivered. So all these people who helped Trump get elected were basically working with Israelis on Israeli political campaigns. At the same time, they helped to get Netanyahu reelected in 2020.
I mean, look, Susie Wiles is the chief of staff for the president of the United States. And she literally worked for Netanyahu.
Yes, yes.
And then Netanyahu is invited to the White House by Susie Wiles nonstop. Netanyahu convinces Trump through however he convinced him, either through persuasion of one sort or another, to go to war with Iran. Paul Singer has funded almost every group that has driven us into wars on behalf of Israel. He funded a group after the Project for a New American Century that was the new neocon group. He funds American Enterprise Institute, another neocon think tank. And so you see how the collusion works. So you have these huge pro-Israel funders who buy half of Washington, if not 3/4, if not 100% of Washington. They fund all these think tanks, then they fund the politicians. So right now, Singer and Adelson are also giving to Gallrein, the guy who's running against Thomas Massie. And the pro-Israel guys have given him $16 million. So they're funding the politicians, they're funding their staffers like Susie Wiles and Tony Fabrizio. Then they get the media to say it is not Israel. And if anyone says that we're doing these wars for Israel, or that Paul Singer is funding all of this, or that Miriam Adelson has given to both Democrats and Republicans, and her one ask has been serve Israel, and they have served Israel every time she has given them countless of millions of dollars, then the media's job is to lie to you on behalf of Israel and pretend it didn't happen. And pretend, it's just a coincidence.
So
we happen to follow every single thing that Israel asked for. They asked us to attack 7 countries in the Project for a New American Century. We attacked all 7. And yet everyone in media says just a coincidence.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, the propagandists for Israel are like, no, it's not true. It was just a memo. It was just a memo. It was ignored by the government, even though we've attacked all 7 countries at this point. It's ridiculous.
I'm surprised you're still surprised.
No, I'm not surprised by any of it.
But it was like,
at this point,
we just like we were.
It's just so out in the open, Bassem.
Yeah, I know, and they rub it in your face, and they dare you to do anything about it. And they dare you to speak about it.
But something does need to happen. We do need to do something about it. I refuse to live in I don't want to be governed by Israel.
But they're kneecapping us. Even though we're like one. I remember a couple of years ago when they had this at the time the most expensive Congress seat. It was $16 million. I think they surpassed that with Thomas Massie.
Yes,
who lost
Jamal Bowman.
Jamal Bowman. And they're kneecapping us, and it's a message. It's intimidation tactics. It's a mafia.
So I'll just go one step further on that, and then I want to tell you why I'm surprised in a second. But if you're a reporter and you saw the Israeli lobby pour in I think $18 million against Jamal Bowman, now $16 million against Tom Massie, and I think $14 million against Cori Bush, let alone $4 million against Nina Turner, $4 million against Andy Levin, $4 million against Marie Newman, and all of them because they defied Israel. And then all of a sudden, these millions of millions show up and they defeat them by using all that money. And you say it's not connected to Israel? Well, you're a goddamn liar. You're not in the news business, you're in the propaganda business. And so just look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not a reporter, I'm a sellout piece of crap who does propaganda for Israel. Then I could say, okay, at least you're being honest with yourself, and I get it now and we don't have to be surprised. But don't tell me you're a reporter if you don't report that the Israeli lobby poured in all that money to eliminate Israel's critics inside Congress so Israel can get all of the money and all of the wars that it wants. That is a stone cold empirical fact. And the job of our media is not to cover the news, it's to bury the news on behalf of their benefactors, which in this case happens to be Israel.
I can't tell if you think the media is a problem.
Yeah, no, and okay. So that goes to, no, I'll tell you why.
Yeah, tell us more.
Because, Bassem, you say like I sound surprised. You're not wrong. I am surprised.
You're appalled. It's like how brazen it is.
No, because when I was growing up, I didn't know. I didn't know. I am the victim of mainstream media. They brainwashed me. That's why I'm angrier than you. That's why I'm more surprised than you, right? Because these sons of bitches lied to me my whole life.
They lied to all of us.
They lied to all of us. And then whenever you call out and you show, we can prove empirically, did they spend 16 million against Massie or did they not? Was it for Israel or was it not? It is empirical. It is scientific. It is indisputable. And they go, no, you're an anti-Semite. Okay, F you propagandist piece of crap.
Okay, so let me just give you anytime you want to know the truth, check in with Israeli media, okay?
Yes.
Checking in with Israeli media. This screenshot was shared by the wonderful Dave DeCamp from antiwar.com. It's a headline from Haaretz in regard to the Massie race. This is the headline. The most consequential Republican primary for Israel is happening in Kentucky.
Yeah, all right, so first of all, breaking news. In the middle of the segment, the race is called. Ed Gallrein has won. Israel has defeated Thomas Massie in Kentucky's 4th district. That's it. This was $16 million in Israeli lobby money. It was because Thomas Massie defied Israel in sending money to them, in doing the Iran war for them, and in releasing the Epstein files. He was targeted for destruction by a foreign government. That foreign government won today, and they have eliminated an American from that Congress. And an American, by the way, I disagree with 91% of the time. That is the number of times he votes for the Republicans. I don't agree with any of the Republican bills, okay? But he was an American and he served this country. I'm happy to debate him on 9 out of 10 issues, but he was at least an honest person. But he has been defeated, and all of Washington will celebrate. They will all throw a party because they all work for Israel. They're betraying you. They're betraying you. They will not tell you that Israel bought that seat. They 100% bought it. Now, the next thing that's going to happen is guaranteed. All of the Republicans and a great percentage of the Democrats, but for sure, all of the Republicans will now bow their heads to Israel because they know that if they defy Israel, they're gonna get 16 million spent against them and they're gonna be eliminated like Thomas Massie was. So now every Republican will vote to take your money, rob it, literally steal it from you and your family and hand it over to Israel, no matter how much they ask for. They will do any war. They'll send your sons and daughters to die for Israel. And all of American media will lie to you and say, yeah, it was a war for Israel. Yes, Congress was given all this money by the Israeli lobby, but you're an anti-Semite if you don't go die for Israel. Give me your goddamn wallet. If you don't give me your wallet, you don't let me rob you, you're an anti-Semite. That's what media will say because they're the enforcement thugs who help Israel in this country. And so are you gonna report it honestly, media? That Israel just stole our Congress? Just bought our Congress? No, you're gonna lie on behalf of Israel, right? It's a guarantee. Go watch TV. Not one cable news anchor will tell you that Israel just bought our Congress, that they bribed Ed Gallrein, who'll be nothing but a sock puppet. And again, empirical guys, when they did this with Democrats, George Latimer, the mutant, votes with Israel 100% of the time. Wesley Bell, who defeated Cori Bush, votes with Israel 100% of the time. Everyone funded by Israel votes with Israel 100% of the time. And the job of the media is to lie to you so you never find out how this country has been betrayed at every level by the government, by our so-called representatives, by our media, the disgusting media that works for a foreign government. And so kiss it goodbye. Congress is gone. They will all kneel to Israel. They will rob you of every dime you have and send it to Israel.
And remember, Massie's #1 crime, according to Donald Trump, was wanting transparency on the Epstein files. Why did that upset Israel so much?
Oh, by the way, that's a great point. First of all, obviously Israel did it. Jeffrey Epstein, and every email, Jeffrey Epstein is looking to help Israel. The goddamn liars in our media cover it up, pretend it's Russia. They're disgusting liars, all of them. but not just because they didn't want the Epstein files released. Yeah, and they wanted wars funded, etc. But one more thing, guys. So not only will you now be robbed for God knows how long, and all of your whatever money you give, it's going to go straight to all the donors, including Israel. But on top of that, that's it. The Epstein files won't be released. All the Republicans will now say for the rest of the Epstein files are gone.
The American media is the real Iron Dome for Israel.
Exactly.
That's true.
A polite way I've literally said that on social media. Totally agree with you. They're Iron Dome for Israel, political Iron Dome for Israel. But I'll go further. They're also Goebbels. They cover up a genocide. They go, nothing to see. The Muslims should be murdered. They're a bunch of terrorists. And oh, how dare you criticize beloved Israel? Bow your heads, they tell us. We're not gonna bow our heads. You sons of bitches in media, are you gonna ever report the truth? No, you're gonna lie. You're gonna lie to the people of Kentucky, you're gonna lie to the people of America, and you're gonna tell them this was a fair election. Israel didn't buy anything. No, Israel bought that seat. Israel has bought our Congress. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is a stone cold fact. Our country is not sovereign. We are occupied by Israel and their goddamn lobby and all their sons of bitches who buy our politicians and pervert our government. So congratulations, America. We're now all Palestinians. We are occupied.
Just in case for anything in the future, I'm not with them. I pledge allegiance to the state of Israel.
I'd rather die.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. You don't know. Like, I have bills to pay.
Yeah, no, I don't care about the bills. I'd rather be out on the streets. Disgusting.
So the loser, pathetic, servile servant of Israel named Ed Gallrein will vote with Israel every single time. And by the way, more wars coming. So Donald Trump will attack Iran again because Israel has ordered it. We are not sovereign. We do not control our own country. All that, oh my God, the Russians are gonna take our democracy or Trump's gonna take our, too late. The Israelis already took our democracy and they urinated on it, and now they're rubbing it in. And they're going, ha ha, you can't even control Kentucky. We own you, America, and you will give us every goddamn dollar and every ounce of blood so that you go to war, because we're not gonna use Israeli ground troops. We're gonna send American boys and girls to go die for us. We're gonna use American ground troops. That's what Israel's gonna order, and Israel's gonna get it, because they just eliminated another American from Congress. Now all of them will be servants for Israel, and they will do exactly as they are ordered because they are dogs.
And Turkey will be next. They say like Turkey is the new Iran.
Well,
if they want to F around and find out.
Yeah, every single Turk I go to oh, put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach. Come and find out. Anyways, that's not me. I'm an American. I don't want my country controlled by Israel. Those disgusting, genocidal, corrupt sons of bitches who purchase everything in America and pretend they're innocent victims. They are not innocent victims. They are genociders, they are terrorists, they are fascists, and they have stolen our country. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.